¡Véndeme atrás!
Están buenos los frijolitos, ¿verdad?
There are 4 of them. This voice will take us just past their camp. They're on it to run 100 yards to a thicket. Durbin, what's the matter with you?
Nothing, sir.
You sick?
We better get moving.
Look at me.
I'm scared.
Well, you volunteered. Heaven's name, why did you come? You didn't have to.
I prayed to God I wouldn't be, that I'd be like you.
Nobody ever blew a mission on me, not yet.
Yes, sir.
You get your pack, and whatever happens, you stay close to me.
From out of the West, Dick Powell's Zane Grey Theater. Tonight star Robert Ryan.
Hey, man, maybe you got some whiskey, eh? I'll let him kill you quick for whiskey.
Ya menos lo dejo sin dedos.
They're gonna question us, aren't they? Is that what he means?
You don't know a thing.
Oh, they'll come and take us away.
No matter what happens, that's all you give them. You didn't know where you were going when you left with me. I was the only one, and I didn't tell.
God, give me courage.
Now, you listen. And what I mean, listen. There are 4,000 men back in our camp. You know what happens to them if you tell what we came to do?
Well, even if we didn't say anything...
They still got a chance. Not as much as if we'd done what we came to. Only you tell what it was.
I heard about a man they captured once that wouldn't tell what they wanted.
Not Durbin.
They put a red-hot poke in his eye.
Durbin, you're working things up in your mind.
And they got done with him to let him loose on the desert.
No worse than they've done in combat. You know that.
Yes, sir, I've heard.
What do you mean, heard? You've never been in combat?
Never even had a gun in my hand, not in a fight.
Then what are you doing here?
Well, they said they needed a man, a volunteer who knew explosives.
A dozen others could have gone. Why you?
It's all right. I don't know, all my life I've wondered about myself. And it wasn't so bad when there wasn't a war, but when war come, and then seeing my friends, people I knowed, hearing about people like you going into fighting, getting shot at, getting blowed to bits, and me just sitting back there waiting, behind the lines, and then moving in, building roads when you'd taken the town, getting killed in those towns. Well,
Go on. Let's hear.
Well, I just got to where I couldn't take it no more. So when I heard about this, that it was Captain William Craig wanting to volunteer to go in with him, well, I wanted to do my part. I wanted to prove that I could.
You picked a time.
Sir?
You'll be fine.
You mean that?
I wouldn't trade you for any man I could name.
You're just saying that. A man like you. All the things you've done.
So? Venga. Spitty. Let's get on with it.
He dicho que aquel primero.
I'm the officer here.
Hey. Smoke, okay? Fumar. ¿O solamente fumar?
Filthy swine. Y ahora a usted le toca, mi amigo. Fuera.
I told you, man, it could have been quick for whiskey.
Name?
Craig.
William Craig? You need attention for that wound, Gonzalez.
The wound's all right.
Well, 4 hours ago, you were captured trying to pass through my lines. In your possession were those 2 packs of explosives, enough to blow the top off a mountain. Your corporal did not have the information. You must. What were you after? What were you
Mi coronel, déjeme solo 2 minutos con él.
Cállate. No lo toques.
What, Capitan? What was it you were to do, huh? I suppose I tell you. Your army's water is almost gone. In 1 day, 2 days at the most, your people will have to move to one of these towns. Cerralvo to my north, Herreras to my south. One or the other. The moment they move, I must act to cut them off. If it is Herreras, I must pass through this gorge. If Cerralvo, across this bridge. Which were you to blow, Captain? The gorge or the bridge? Which way does your army go? Look behind you, Capitan. The men of my army, Yaquis for the most part, are a primitive Indian people with a primitive culture.
I saw their culture a few minutes back.
Only a portion of what they can invent when permitted to tax their imaginations. Some of them, it is said, have made the dumb to speak. 1,500 of them, Capitan. Any one of which... You seem surprised.
We thought...
What? That I had more? So you see, the only hope I have is to know which way you are going before you start. Then with enough time to occupy the town ahead of you, enough time to entrench, I have a chance.
And you think I'm going to tell you where?
I am about to find out. Gonzalez.
Just a minute.
Apaches?
I took that for 3 days. All I had to do to get them to stop was to tell them a few odd facts they wanted to know.
Increíble.
Very impressive, Capitan. Sit down. Oh, the Apaches. They left you like that?
2 years later, they wished they hadn't. The Battle of Iron Wells, maybe you heard of it.
Yes. Yes, I heard of it. 200 of your soldiers caught them, men, women, and children, moving their camp across the desert. How many of them were there? 300? 320?
I didn't count.
You didn't have to. All you had to do was surround them. Cut off from water, in 2 days you would have forced their surrender. Instead,
You attacked,
And wiped out 200 savages.
along with 100 men of your own.
The price of victory.
Women and children?
Children grow into warriors.
And women?
They bear them.
Logical thoughts, Capitan. Not ones that would bring me sleep, but logical.
War depends on logic, Colonel, not sleep.
My apologies. Obviously, there is more of the dragon to you than I gave you credit for.
Basic weakness of yours, underestimating my abilities. I should think after El Palo Alto.
El Palo Alto? That too was you?
400 of your men died that day, Colonel.
And 300 of yours. For a town you never had to take at all. For a town you could have passed, left stranded, helpless behind your lines.
400 armed men are never helpless.
Low on food and water.
And a pounding sun to drive them crazy. Throw me against 4 men in their senses, but never against one mad one.
You were against 4 men at El Bracito.
What about El Bracito?
4 men with their senses. There on top of the hill.
Blocking my battalion from the pass.
And you took them.
I took them.
You alone. You shot them, one after the other, huh? There in the rocks. When a detachment of a dozen soldiers could have gained their surrender for the asking.
There's a revelation.
Revelation?
That any of your soldiers would surrender for the asking. Personally, I've always had a very high regard for their courage.
You have a confounding way about you, Capitan. Sierra.
The last thing I'd want to do is confound you.
And I'm forced to admit a very convincing one. The mind of the fox, the hide and conscience of the boar, the perfect warrior. Logical, coldly vicious, invulnerable. Desátele las manos. Cognac. A private blend, very rare.
Curious thing about private blends. They always have a way of loosening a man's tongue.
A man who has held his tongue for 3 days against the Apaches is hardly likely to lose it to 1 glass of brandy. Three days with the Apaches, eh? That was during the,
Jicarilla Uprising.
yes, the Jicarilla. How did you happen to fall into their hands?
That's important to you?
I'm gracefully trying to pay tribute to you. If the Apaches could force nothing out of you in 3 days, what chance have I in a few short hours, huh? You admire the glass, huh? My father used to say that fine cognac could only be appreciated when sipped from fine crystal. You don't agree?
I wouldn't know.
Well, truly? As an officer and a gentleman?
I wasn't born to my command. I earned it.
Oh, we all do that. A 10-minute examination?
My examination was 3 days with the Apaches.
How did you get away?
The Apaches value courage, or they thought I didn't have anything to tell them. They let me go.
It was an act of supreme heroism. How did your people reward you?
I got a commission.
That was all?
A commission, citation, a presidential commendation.
That was the first time I heard of you. Your name and picture in papers. Parades for you.
It's just a soldier doing his job, nothing more.
Nothing more. At that time, you were quite a hero.
They made it something more, something special. A superhero.
Why do you suppose they did that?
They needed a hook to hang their recruiting drive on. I don't know. Something.
And now, everyone watches to see what you will do the next time. Huh?
And the next. And the one after that.
But if you're a hero...
It isn't enough to be a hero. You've got to live it. You've got to prove it again and again. They make you keep on proving it.
So that is why.
What do you mean, why?
The color of a French cognac. Magnificent.
Why what?
Why you throw yourself into one hell after another, forcing one when none is needed?
What are you talking about?
The Apaches at Iron Wells.
I explain.
El Palo Alto.
There were 400 armed men.
Again at El Bracito. Always, whatever you do, done for fear of losing your reputation as a hero. Even now, the way you stand here, refusing a bandage for your wound, wearing it like a badge of proof for all to see.
That's not true.
It is so painfully true that 1,000 men, 2,000 have died uselessly to serve that fear.
I'm not afraid of anything.
Then you are no man, but a dragon with two heads that breathe fire.
Whatever he's got in that jackal mind of his, nothing's gonna make me tell you what you want to know.
Nothing, Capitan? Not a single thing?
No.
And suppose I tell you that at dawn, you and your corporal will be put on horses. The corporal dead across the saddle, you untouched. An escort takes you under a flag of truce through my lines, returns you to your people.
Well, I don't follow what...
Your officers, when they see you, the corporal's body tortured, lifeless, you untouched except for that bullet wound. What do you suppose they will make of that?
Nothing. What would they?
But perhaps you paid the price for your life. The price that the corporal was not willing to pay.
You think they'd ever
What?
believe that I'd tell you anything? No, they'd never.
No?
Besides, you can't send me back. Not after what you told me. You've got 1,500 men here. I know about that.
You think they would trust that thing you had to say?
You couldn't take the chance.
The moment you are back at your lines, I move my army to one town or the other. A guess on my part, nothing more. But if I guess right, and your army finds me there ahead of it, I don't know about your people. Mine would tear you to pieces. Even odds, Capitan. For you, for me. There is, of course, an alternative.
No,
A simple word, one word.
I can't.
Cerrado Herreras, one of the two.
I can't.
And no one to know you told me.
Go ahead and torture me. In the name of heaven, let it be that way.
No one ever to know it was you, except your corporal, and we will say that he was the one.
Durbin?
A very simple thing. A message sent to your command, telling of it, saying how he broke under the torture.
But Durbin, he'll know.
Nothing. Not even the inscription on his gravestone.
You kill him?
That shocks you.
To kill him. I don't know. I don't know.
Think about it, Capitan. I appreciate it is a pressing decision. Take your time. Say, half an hour. Gonzalez. Tirabuso.
Sir, they didn't touch you? Why? Why didn't they touch? You didn't... No. No, they knowed it wouldn't do no good. Whatever they done, it wouldn't do no good. Oh, that wound, sir. Maybe if you just let me out. You know, son, don't you, that they couldn't make me talk either when they took me in there. After the first, it wasn't so bad. And then when it kept going, I kept thinking if only the captain could see this. That's what kept going through my mind. Me. Sir. What is it, sir?
Durbin, just let me think. Give me time to think. Of course. I didn't realize. Realize what? When they sent us here to blow the gorge, they knew we wouldn't even get to it. They knew we wouldn't even get through their lines. That we'd be captured. They wanted us captured.
Wanted us captured? They wouldn't.
They did. That was what was supposed to happen.
It wasn't.
And you, Durbin, you were supposed to be the one to talk. They knew what you were. Did you break under torture? That's why they sent you.
They didn't send me. I volunteered.
They chose you. They knew you'd be captured and tortured and break. Don't you see how clear it is? That's what you were supposed to do all along. Tell them. Give them false information. They think it's Cerralvo, but it's really Herreras. No, that's where our army's going to go. It's the perfect plan. Arno! Don't.
Get the colonel. Go on.
Teniente! Teniente!
Get him.
Now, Durbin, when they take you, all you have to do is pretend. Take just a little more of what they give you. The torture, Durbin, just a little, and then tell them. Tell them it was Cerralvo.
No, Captain, you're sick.
They've got to think it was Cerralvo. Our command is counting on that.
No.
I order it.
No, sir.
All right. I'll have you in front of a court. Is that what you want all your life, wherever you go? People staring at you? Because you killed 4,000 men?
You're out of your mind.
Look afraid, Durbin. That's what to do. Make them think you're afraid. They like it better when you're afraid. They believe it then. Just a little more torture, that's all you have to suffer. Just enough to make it look good. And I... Está muerto.
What did you do to him? Nothing I'm very proud of.
By 4-star.
Véndeme atrás.
Están buenos los frijolitos, ¿verdad?
There are 4 of them. This voice will take us just past their camp. They're on its run, 100 yards to a thicket. Durbin. Durbin, what's the matter with you?
Nothing, sir.
You sick?
We better get moving.
Look at me.
I'm scared.
We volunteered. Heaven's name, why did you come? You didn't have to.
I prayed to God I wouldn't be, that I'd be like you.
Nobody ever blew a mission on me, not yet.
Yes, sir.
You get your pack, and whatever happens, you stay close to me.
From out of the West, Dick Powell's Zane Grey Theater. Tonight's star, Robert Ryan.
Hey, man, maybe you got some whiskey, eh? I'll let him kill you quick for whiskey. Ya menos lo dejo sin dedos.
They're gonna question us, aren't they? Is that what he means?
We don't know a thing.
Oh, they'll come and take us away.
No matter what happens, that's all you give them. You didn't know where you were going.